Okay, so this question is, how do you get Republicans to listen to new ideas without alienating your progressive beliefs? So I think the way that I look at a common American voter is split into two categories. I think you have one category where someone's belief system is set in stone and all they're doing is seeking out candidates who will, you know, reaffirm what they already believe. So I think a certain percentage of Americans, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, I don't think that they're going to change. And if they're not in that mindset where they're open to having a conversation where somebody has different ideas, you're not going to convince them otherwise. And the other group of people are, the curious voter. And again, I think Republicans get a bad rap for being stubborn and unwilling to change or listen to new ideas. But I think some Democrats fall within that sort of subcategory as well. So how do you convince stubborn voters to take a leap outside of their comfort zone? I don't know if most candidates can. Just to be completely candid with you, I think from my experience, it takes years, if not decades, of family and friends, just constantly having conversations with people. I mean, for me, in particular, my relationship with my parents are kind of fill within that sort of spectrum that I was talking about. So like over time, I was able to grind away at my parents' political belief system. And what I found was, aggression or, stubbornness from an opposing viewpoint wasn't impactful. What was impactful was just listening. And then over time, having conversations that made them think. And I think that's the best thing that a political candidate can do is instead of trying to persuade somebody to change their ideology, I think it starts with listening. Um, because if you're not listening, one, you're not doing your job. Because if you're going to be a representative, your job is to listen. That's it. Because if you win, 45% of the people that you represent aren't going to believe in the same stuff that you do. But you still need to listen to them. You still need to represent them. People who don't believe in the same things that you believe. Now, I think what's interesting is political candidates, some of them are like me, who are running out of, this pure and authentic place. What I say is how I feel. And, I just happen to be progressive because that's how I think. And that's the only way that I know how to run a campaign. Now, there are other political candidates who are tapped by higher powers that basically act as a talking head to the individuals who are funding that campaign or that political party within that specific state or that specific district. Now, for me, I obviously believe in certain things. So I'm not going to change um, my belief system, you know, just because I have you know, a, a conversation with a person who is very, slick in their ability to drive home different points. So it's the same way that I approach voters. I don't think that I can convince somebody to change their mind. All I can hope for is, to secure 5 minutes of their time in hopes of having a, you know, legitimate conversation around something that is important to them. Um, so yeah, to kind of go back to the original question, how do connect with Republicans or, even moderate Democrats as somebody who is a progressive candidate without alienating progressive voters? I don't think you try to do that in the first place. I think it's just about, communicating your vision, and some people are going to agree with you and some people aren't. And I don't think it's, wise to, you know, tell somebody that their viewpoint is wrong or dumb, or, say something like, oh, I can't believe you feel that way. Because, people don't want to hear that. And in the end, you're trying to make, an authentic connection with everybody in your voting district. So the last thing you want to do is, tell somebody that they're wrong, but at the same time, you stand for something. So obviously, you're going to speak about the issues that are important to you, um, in a way where you're not going to, like you said, alienate the people who, think, about politics the same way that you do.